We're back. Hey, welcome back to Henshin Hangout. We are back. We were gone for a week because we were at WonderCon.
WonderCon.
Yeah, you were at a booth, right? Signing your comics.
I was at RS Alley, saw a lot of cool people stop by. It was awesome. It was a fun time. So you were there too, though.
Yeah,
doing interviews.
We didn't cross paths.
We did. It was just so busy, so many things going on.
Yeah.
And who did you dress up as at WonderCon?
Bruno Mars.
Very dope. Very dope. Very dope.
We didn't do anything with it. We got way too busy. Way too busy. We're missing Justin. Justin's not here, so we're gonna run the show today. But first off, let's get some things. Take care of some things. We have a TeePublic store where you guys can get all your cool shirts. Did you get that off TeePublic?
No, but it's nice though.
You guys get all your cool T-shirts and all your cool. You can put the designs on mugs. You can put them on laptop cases. You can put them on
phone cases, keychains,
tank tops for the gym,
hats,
everything. So
exactly.
Much. And I think,
bras.
I think there still might be.
I'm not sure
sale.
about that. We have to confirm that last one, but maybe bras.
Yeah, they got that. Look at that. Look at that. Saved by the Bell shirt. You know, it's pretty
so
cool.
Fancy, so nice.
If you guys, the link is in the bio. If you guys want to check out the store, we got a lot of cool stuff over there. Also, we got that boss bar. That boss bar right there. In the lead right now is Larry. Larry's in the lead, and if you beat him, you get a free weekend pass to Power Morphicon.
Power Morphicon.
And you can get a chance to get your hands on that Lord Dracon figure.
And you know what's going down at Power Morphicon? We got the Angel Grove Prom. Oh my gosh! Of course.
You got your video set up?
Of course. I'm gonna see here saying though, like I'm trying to surprise her. I don't want her to see it coming. The video is gonna be lit. All I'm saying is,
have we met her
Producer
before?
Josh. I'm not gonna give anything away.
Oh my god!
I'm not gonna give anything away. But Producer Josh will be playing the saxophone. That's all you get.
Yes. Is it like that sexy sax man?
Oh yeah. It's gonna be lit. It's gonna be on fire.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
And then don't forget though, we still at the Angel Grove Prom. We will be there. We will be taking the limo.
Yeah.
It'll be boss
with doves.
Oh yeah. And then don't forget after party is at Daniel Jerome's parents' house afterwards. Yes. Make sure you're there. He got us the cabin. It's gonna be amazing. Also, we have the THS hashtaggers page. Most of you guys are in that page, but if you are not, why the hell not? Just go over there and join us on Facebook. It's a exclusive Facebook. It's not exclusive, but it's a Facebook group where you guys could share all the cool things that you find interesting and share it with us, because I know you guys like sharing stuff with us or trying to add us. Just share it on there and tag us. We'll see what you got. You got your cool art, cool things you find on the internet, cool YouTube videos. You can share it all there, and everybody could join in the fun with everything that you're checking out. Exactly. Great place to meet people, have conversations, get to know people who have your same interests. And what's really dope too is you're looking for hotels for Power Morphicon.
Exactly.
That's where you can find a roommate at potentially. Like start talking to somebody, see if you guys vibe. That
was the initial thing that why it was created. So you guys could coordinate and you guys could like chip in and book a hotel together. Because I mean you guys are in the chat room together all the time. So I feel like you guys are pretty comfortable with each other. So
you're comfortable enough to call each other out on wrong information. You're comfortable enough to maybe share a room with somebody.
Exactly. And remember, it's not at Pasadena this year. It's at Anaheim.
We're going to Anaheim, which is really close to Disneyland. So
that convention center is nice, though.
Oh, it's really nice. Dude. That's where they have WonderCon at.
Yep, they got that cool balcony, and they got it's really nice. So
lots of food trucks, like really cool environment. Close to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. Like it's a great location.
We were surprised when we saw that when we were driving down there. It was like, there's a Roscoe's here. What the hell?
There's a Roscoe's everywhere now.
So join that. Also, we have a super chat button, and the super chat button helps support the show. It'll also get you one step closer to getting that weekend pass at Power Morphicon.
Helps us keep the lights on.
With that being said, let's get into the show. Where do you want to start off first? You want to start off with Kamen Rider, or you want to start off with Lupin versus Patranger?
Okay, let's start off with Kamen Rider. Because with Kamen Rider, we left off on a cliffhanger last week. For those who forgot, we were in the middle of the tournament. And I was going crazy for it because like total shonen anime manga style, where it was like they were doing a versus tournament, and this tournament would determine who wins the war. So if our heroes win, the war is over with. They win, the country goes back to peace, all of Japan. But if the villains win, again, they win to go to power and everything like that. So as we left last week, the first battle with Kamen Rider Grease, he gave his opponent those hands. He won.
He took him down.
Yes, he did. Like 1, 2, 3, tap. But then we came back this week. Well, at the end of that episode, Banjo was about to fight. But then the opponent he was fighting against, the brother of the villain from last time.
Twins,
all of a sudden he comes up with a combined form. And Banjo was looking like, what?
They went in the episode. They went to like this scene where a different character. Who was that? I don't know. They showed a different
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. Yeah, they show this weird flashback, and maybe you guys let us know in the comments, because you know I'm still a rookie when it comes to Kamen Rider.
Both of us. This is my first Kamen Rider.
But they showed us like this video where it was like a combined gear form, and it was like red and blue, and it was like, it looks like a hero. It looks like Build, a form from a movie or something like that. Yeah. So when I saw that, I was kind of surprised. So maybe you guys let us know in the comments if you've seen it. What was that from? Because I was perplexed, but I was intrigued at the same time.
Yeah, I mean that battle with Banjo and that guy, it was pretty one-sided. He was getting his butt whooped. But the only reason he was getting his butt whooped is because the dude threw like a sideball and said, "Oh, my brother is being he's held hostage or some shit."
Exactly. But it was cool though. I had to give it props though, because like when I'm going into this, I thought we were about to get a squash fight. I thought it was like Banjo's about to get smacked down, lay it on him. He's gonna be just done with. But what ended up happening is like Banjo starts fighting, because remember he has that cool ability where his hazard level rises the more he fights. Low key, kind of like a Saiyan. And so the thing about it is though, he's like putting in this work. But then you're right. All of a sudden the combined gear dude starts lying, saying like, "Oh, my brother's been kidnapped. If I don't win this battle, this is going to kill him," and blah blah blah. And Banjo does this really cool flashback sequence where he starts thinking about Build. The conversation he's had with him was about how like him and Grease were talking about like they don't understand Build because they fight for people who trust them. They fight for their friends, but Build fights for everyone. He fights for total strangers.
There's a lot of flashbacks in this episode. They go back to what each writer's motivation is, and Banjo kind of. He's a little different than how Sento and what's the Kamen Rider Grease's name?
Oh, I just call him Grease.
How they have about the same motivations versus what Banjo has. So they go back a lot, and we figure out later on that his brother isn't in no trouble.
No, and then Banjo takes a loss for nothing. But at the same time, though, it was cool because even though he took this loss, we know that he would have won. But what's also cool as well, Banjo grew. Because he said before, he fights for people that trust him, the people he trusts. He fights for his friends and loved ones, which is nothing wrong with that. A lot of us would do that. But when this went, he was fighting and sacrificing for a total stranger, which was like really noble. So even when he took the loss at the end, he said, "It's all right. It's fine. You lied to me, but that's okay. Because that guy behind me is going to finish this now." Exactly.
He gonna kick your ass.
Exactly. Prepare to get that work. Prepare to get that work.
So what had happened also, not in this episode, but last episode, we saw that Sawa, she had infiltrated not infiltrated because they know who she is, but she hacked into the computer and stole some plans.
Exactly. She was spying again. She was spying on us again for a second time.
Can't trust her, man. Can't trust her. Not at all.
Just can't trust her.
They go and they give her. She goes and she gives information to them. It was nice. So this kind of leads into the next episode because this episode it was just it was pretty much all the fight. Everything everything was centralized on the fight. And you realize that Banjo has like a soft spot for for people's problems, and it kind of got him in this. And he doesn't have that killer mentality, and that's fine.
Exactly. And it's a growth for him though, because at the beginning he was kind of like more angry, more aggression, everything like that. Kind of like I would say like a Raphael from Ninja Turtles type deal. But now he's starting to show more layers to himself. He's starting to grow. He's starting to like look at the Build as a role model, even he won't admit it. But he's looking at him as like how the hero he should be.
Yeah. Which leads us into the next episode. So,
no, we didn't. We'll finish up this one because remember, at the end, after this episode, Build comes in and Build starts fighting against Crocodile now. So remember, he fights against Crocodile. And then he starts with the cracked open, the soda form, as I like to call it, and it's like he's losing the sparkling form. But then they're having this debate as they're going back and forth fighting about why do you fight. He's like the Kamen Rider suits were built as a weapon. You designed them as a weapon. This war is your fault. But it's this cool like philosophical battle going back and forth. Because at this point, Build is like, no, I may have built this, but I believe in love and peace. And I believe these suits are built to protect people and to help people. And so that gives him like the strength and motivation to unveil his new suit. And that's when we get the new suit, which is not Rabbit Tank. It's Rabbit, which was so sick.
And it's kind of like an armor on top of his hazard gear. So it's pretty cool. I liked it. But the thing is, when he puts it on, I didn't know when I was watching it that they already know about the gear or the information
because it had been leaked through the spying. Because
Sawa leaked it to her. Do you want to call it? I want to say her father figure, but it was kind of like kind of like how Scarlett Johansson has like that Black Widow program. It's kind of like that. The kids are trained. So
to be spies,
So Salwa is kind of like the Gear twins. They're both were brought up in the same situation.
Exactly, and he's manipulating her, and he's like saying, and then we kind of get some information towards the end of the episode. Well, after Bill puts the butt whipping on Crocodile in a serious way, like he starts going to work on him because now he has all the strength of Hazard without going crazy. Yeah. And then it gets to the most sickest point to me personally as a One Piece fan when he hits him with that Goma Goma kick, and it's like extends like Luffy, and he kicks him and everything like that. I was like, oh!
No, he goes all the way up. He's about to kick him, and the thing stretches and doesn't hit him yet, and then he springs forward.
Exactly, then boom, and then it knocks him outside.
Little things like that, man. Little things like that is pretty amazing.
It is. It's awesome. And then at that point, like, does the fight continue? It was like it continues until he's defeated, he's knocked unconscious, or until he powers down from the suit. Powers down. Still, like, fight continues outside.
He kind of pulls like a Mortal Kombat. You know, in Mortal Kombat where the guy's coming at you, and then the one thing that you do is like you crash down, you just wait for that uppercut. Yeah. And you hit that uppercut, they go through the
ceiling, and you have to jump up to the next level and everything like that.
Exactly. It's like the next environment. You know, that's what had happened. So it was cool. I like how they keep adding more and more to. So you feel like he's not in control of his powers, and then with Sento being who he is, he's smart, even though he doesn't know it. But he creates something that helps him control that.
And what's cool is that because he was dealing with that whole, like, I love the character growth in these last 2 episodes, because for a long time he was dealing with the guilt of being the devil scientist and all the things he's done. But since then he's managed to build upon these inventions and make them tools to help people. And what's also cool as well is that part of the way that he's able to create these inventions is not through just pure genius, but through the friendships he's created his way. Because when he goes back to Misao, she's the one who helps him create the rabbit suit by purifying the bottles and helping him take it to that next level. So he's able to go to levels that the mad scientist never was able to go to because his friendships and his familiar connections, which is super dope and cool.
I mean, a lot like he feels bad or feels guilty, but it's not technically him. It's not. He is not the devil scientist. That's not him. It's his memory is erased. He has a different face. It's technically a different person.
Yeah.
I mean, but I guess you're living with your inner demons and your past. But
you live with that guilt from like what happened.
But put yourself in that position. Would you feel that guilt if you have no control over it? You don't have any memory of any of that. So I mean, it's technically not you. So.
And you know what? It's kind of cool though, because I agree with you. Because like in his situation, like he doesn't like it's not him. He has no memories of those actions.
Nope.
In addition to that, though, he doesn't look like the same person.
Definitely.
So
not.
he's totally disconnected from it. But what's cool is though he's like, but you know what? I'm still responsible though. It's like even though he still feels the guilt responsibility from it. So if I was placed in that situation, I don't know. I would hope that I'm a good enough person that I would still like feel that guilt and that responsibility, so I could like help make amends. Yeah. Because as I was watching this, you know what it kind of reminded me of? I'm not sure if you're an anime fan, but Rurouni Kenshin.
No.
It's a really cool anime from back in the day. It came out in the 90s, but the premise is that during the war, there was a samurai who was an assassin who killed all these people during the war. But after the war ends, he makes a vow never to kill again, and so he walks around Japan carrying a reverse blade sword, and he uses all of his skills and tactics to protect people and everything like that to make amends for his past.
Atonement for his sins.
Exactly. So in the same sense, that's what I kind of see like Bill doing in this. Yeah. He's going around trying to atone for his sins.
And he's building all this new inventions to counter what the writer program was built to do.
It was great is that like because they kind of mentioned this in the episode too, is that he has no memories of anything, but once he gets the build suit and once he realizes what he can do, his immediate reaction is, I need to use this to protect people. Yeah. I need to use this to help people.
It's great. I like it.
So that's just that one episode. Sorry guys, that went kind of long, but it was so good and so deep and so layered.
These stories are just. Like I said before, sometimes I skip some of the fight scenes just to hear the story.
Yeah.
Because the stories are really good and they're really in depth, and there's so much character development with all of these characters that it's just amazing just to watch.
It is. And then this takes us to episode 2. So at the end of the last episode, we find out that again the old girl has like been spying on him, and she gives the data to like the general and to the president of the enemy country. And so those who go to this next episode, they're like, no, don't worry. We have a countermeasure. We have the data now. He's going down. So as we go to this next episode, we're seeing Rabbit fight. We're seeing Bill fighting his new armor. But then all of a sudden, Crocodile blocking.
He
bam,
knows everything.
Bam, exactly. He's like dodging. He's like moving all over and everything. You let that. He's able to get away. He's able to like attack back, and we see he's losing. Yeah. Now Build is losing, and we're going crazy. But then that's when Misawa comes running up with Banjo, and they see what's her girl, the spy's name?
Sawa.
Sawa. They see Sawa, and they confront her, and Sawa's like, he's losing because Crocodile has the data now. He knows all his moves. He knows how to like beat him. He has countermeasures. Yeah. And they're like, but how did he get that? And she's like, I gave it to him. And that's when we get her whole confession. Yeah. And Banjo's like, oh?
Everybody was like, what the fuck?
Exactly.
But can you blame her? They let her get away with that in the first place.
Exactly. And I love how they say it. They were like, I love how they said, they're like, you were spying again? God, and it was like, man. Gotta do what I gotta do.
Dude, it's crazy. It's crazy that the first time they just let her go. They just let her go and like just swept it on the rug. Mm-hmm. And then you're surprised when it happens again. Why are you surprised? Damn it, man. Exactly. It's crazy.
But what's crazy is though, so this starts happening. Mm-hmm. And one thing that she starts making this confession when she goes into her past, explains how they kidnapped her, how they brainwashed her, and how they programmed her when you get caught as a spy the first time. Yeah. You're supposed to kill yourself. You're supposed to destroy yourself right then and there. But she didn't, though. She goes on to explain that she didn't because she grew closer to them. She says she grew these like familial connections, that she starts to care about them. And she starts to do these flashbacks of these memories of them hanging out, eating lunch together, and how they're like a family to her now. And she starts to realize that I didn't want to kill myself because I didn't want to be without you guys, which is like, oh, okay. Nice. But you still betrayed us, though.
Definitely did.
But then that's when we find out in the last episode, something we didn't tell you guys about, is that in the last episode, she called Grease. Grease was done with this fight. He's in there resting in the hall, which is like, Grease, I need a favor. I need you to go do something. And then we cut to Grease going into an alleyway, and then we don't see him again. Yeah. And so then we go back to this episode. She's making this confession. We're seeing Bill just get beat down in the rabbit suit, getting beat down. She makes this confession, and she's like, but don't worry. I care about you guys. But they're like confused. Banjo's like, but if you care about us, you're letting Bill get beat right now. He's going to lose. And then she gets a phone call, and it's Grease. And we cut to Grease in an alleyway where we see all these like dead cyborgs, everything like laying around. Mm-hmm. Because the reason why she was still a spy is because someone's family had got kidnapped, and the family and the children. So she didn't want to do anything and go against that. So she sent Grease to go rescue the family.
You know, it kind of reminded me of. Do you? They always get on me for liking these movies. Fast and Furious, the last one. Have you seen the last one?
Of course. And they send him to the plane to go rescue the baby and everything like that. No, exactly. I'm with you. That's what I was thinking of too. And I was like, oh snap, Grease is Jason Statham.
Yeah, like you think Jason Statham is dead, but he's not. He's actually Vin Diesel recruits him, and he's not going to do anything until Vin Diesel gets his son back.
Exactly.
That's exactly what happened.
And then exact same way it plays out. Exactly. And then once he makes a call, and he's like, Dom, we got your son. He's like, good. Exactly. It starts to go to work, and the same thing happens here.
Sawa's like, after she got confirmation, she went something like this.
Which I guess like Nakam or something like that. I don't know.
And then Sento's like, all right, cool. He's like, so the whole time he was just fucking with her, man. He was just fucking with her. He was like, all right, let's go.
Exactly. He gets up, like, dusts his shoulders off. Crocodile throws a punch. Like, get that weak mess out of here.
And then what does he bring out?
He brings out some wheatless. So
that thing is cool.
So last episode we got Rabbit, right? Yeah, and again, that's two rabbits fused together. This episode, because remember it's usually Rabbit Tank. Last episode we got Rabbit. Now we get Tank, which is crazy. Because here's the thing, though, with these new transformations, armor is summoned to him. His transformation is an attack. Like little tanks come driving up, and they start shooting the enemy as they drive up, and they form into his body.
He got wheels and stuff. He's just like rolling around, just shooting.
Exactly. It was so crazy. Like, so he gets the tank form, starts going to work on him, blocking punches, just pretty much pimp smacking Crocodile, and then what gets even crazier. And for his finisher, he's like, guess what else we can do? I got the Matrix. Transform! Yep. He's like, what? Is he an Autobot now? Like you said, it turns to like Trandlegs. He starts driving around, just like shooting him, everything like that. I'm like, is he Gizmo Duck? What is he doing? It is so insane, but so good. He had this really
cool gun too. Like he had like this like huge like looked like a shotgun thing. He kept putting all his little.
He's like just like cartridges in too. It was like Rabbit.
He just kept blasting him. He just kept blasting him.
Rocket. Bam! I was like, oh,
boom, boom. Boom! It's like they're just playing around, man.
Crocodile was just taking shots to the chest. It was sad.
It was fucking
not that sad. He deserved it.
So he won it. I don't know. I feel like they said, "Oh, if you win the tournament, the war is over." I feel like that. can't be that easy.
But you know what? For the heroes, I agree with you. I was like, it can't be that easy. But for the heroes, like, but you got to take the opportunity though.
Yeah.
It's like you can save a lot of lives, and help a lot of people. And so after they beat them down, the heroes are standing around. We're both like, oh, the war is over with. They're you're saying like, so the war is over, and they're all like celebrating. But then we cut to the enemy lair, and we see the general and the head of like what's the name of Nasakor?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah. So
and what does he do?
And so the general's like, we've lost after surrender. And the head of Nasakor's like, are you dumb? Nah, we just got data. We just made upgrades. Don't worry, we got a backup plan. We about to go keep going. And he's like, no, for my honor, we can't do this. I gave my word. He's like, I knew you was a bitch. Wait, what? And then they open the door and it comes Stalk. Like, he was a bitch, huh?
Oh my God.
Yeah, he was a bitch.
I told you, I've been waiting out here all day.
Exactly. Stalk comes in, president of the enemy country, everything like that, gets murked. Like, done. Like, taken out, like, right then and there. And then all of a sudden, we're looking like, and then the scientist, the little assistant guy with the glasses in the back, he's like, but how can you do this? Who will be the president? He's like, fool, we got a plan. And that's where Stalk uses that power again. Clay faces him. Yep. Just like totally changed his faces. Yep. And now the old man looks like the president. And now they're in charge. And he looks at Stalk is like, up to the next stage, on to the next plan.
Damn.
And now Stalk's like, it's my turn. And so as we end this, we end with a cliffhanger. We're like, okay, so the war's definitely not over with, even though our heroes think it is. And now Stalk's on the table. And what's crazy is Stalk has been one of the most effective villains, has not got a single upgrade yet.
He hasn't, no.
No.
And it's not like his suit is strong. Like he can get beat.
Yeah.
So he needs an upgrade. I can't wait to see what his upgrade is. Because I don't like that little freaking horn thing. I don't know.
So it's so good. So here's the thing. This is why I need your help in the comments, because I've told you guys this before. I'm brand new to Kamen Rider right now, and we're in episode 28, not 29, which is Grease's age. I'll watch the intro. But what's crazy is though, is like, so right now we're at a big pivot, a big point. So how many more episodes are there usually? Because I've heard there's like 40 episodes. So that means we're at 10 episodes, about 10 or 11 episodes from the end.
There.
So it's like, okay, what is this leading up to? Because we're going to like the last quarter now. So I'm really excited, and I can't wait to see how this goes.
Yeah, it was good. This show, like I binged watch it, so it's like a whole movie. It's great. So if you guys don't watch it, you guys should
have to watch it. It's so good.
Honestly, it's way better than what Nickelodeon's putting out with Power Rangers.
But Jez, let me ask you this though, because here's the thing: I love the show and it's amazing. But I was thinking about this because as we were getting you caught up with it and we were talking about everything like that, and talking to people about it, the only problem I see with the show, and tell me if you feel it's a problem or not, is that you cannot jump in at any point.
No, you can't.
Because you have to start in episode 1. Because if you start it like anywhere else, you literally have no context of what's going on.
But I like that. The only shows that you should do that where you can jump in are like comedy sitcoms and stuff. It shouldn't be for a story like this. That's called character development. That's called like story. You can't just jump in to it. So I don't know.
I agree, because the thing about this is like I want to recommend the show to people, but when I do recommend it, I always tell them the same thing. You gotta start from episode 1. There's no like jumping on point. There's like, it's literally episode 1. Because if you miss anything, you're gonna miss, like you said, all that cool character development, all that bonding, all those like familiar connections. And the thing about it is though, I give them really a lot of credit with the show. Everything is earned. Because when Sawa starts talking about like how you guys are like family to me, she didn't say this in episode 5. She didn't say this in episode 12. She said this in episode like 28. So the thing about it is, it's earned. We've seen them all growing together. We've seen them fight all these battles together. We've seen her life get saved by Build and by Banjo over and over again. So when we get to this point, we're like, you know what? They are like your family. They care about you. I understand why you're making the sacrifice. So, again, guys, go check it out. And it's a deep watch, too. Like, I gotta be real. When I watch Build, I'm emotionally drained afterwards. Dude, like, I'm like, what?
I watched it right when I woke up in the morning. I'm eating breakfast, and I'm like, damn, this is crazy.
It is. It is crazy.
It is way too early for this.
And that's the reason why I like watching that first, and I love watching Lupin versus Patranger afterwards. Yeah. Because Lupin versus Patranger. Me too. That's exactly what I do.
You do Build first, and then you do Lupin.
Because it ends on a light note. It's on a light note. Like, you laugh, you have some fun. It's like, okay, all is right with the world again. Not as all dark and bleak. So, Lupin versus Patranger.
Lupin versus Patranger. We get the I don't want to say finale, but the continuation of what happened last week.
Exactly.
With Berndalt.
The hot-headed Potter Red Ranger.
Yep. And Berndalt, the monster.
The monster. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but we do have the hot-headed he's just letting things get to him.
Exactly, which is crazy. And for those of you who may not have seen, last week the red Lupinranger beat him. They were fighting for control of the 2 items.
Took the 2 items.
And they were just going back and forth, but the Lupinranger got the best of him, not just one time, like several times. Which is interesting though, because usually when you have 2 red Rangers face off, or 2 Rangers like who's supposed to be equal face off, you don't have one just winning outright. But in this situation, the Lupin Red Ranger like pretty much won and got both control of both items. So the Red Patranger is just like, he's angry, he's upset. We see this in this episode. He feels like a failure. But as we continue on, that's his struggle for this episode.
Yeah. So they go on to they try to take down Berndalt. And I don't know if was it this episode or because I watched them together. Was it this episode or last episode where we got a glimpse of the the Gangler, the other human Gangler.
Oh, okay, that was the follow-up episode.
Cool.
So I got you. So in this episode, after this, like we go to the restaurant, and the 2 Lupin Rangers are doing their duty and everything like that, and they're like, where's Red at? And then all of a sudden they cut to the police station, and the police station there's like still recovering, like they're beat up, they're bad.
Yeah,
they've got bandages on, they've got like wrapped up and everything like that. They look like Rock Lee after that first fight with Gara, like they're just messed up bad.
I love how Johnny has all these anime references just coming at. It's like, oh, anime.
Yeah, people know it.
Yeah, exactly. They're loving it. They're like that last reference. They're like, oh man, it brings me back to my childhood, Johnny.
Nice, dope. And so as we go to this one and everything like that, and we see like they're recovering, we go to the park and we see Lupin Red just walking around casually eating popcorn, again having a great time, and we see Patranger Red sitting there just like angry. He's like stewing. He's thinking back to that fight. He's thinking about how he failed.
And then he was gonna go up to him gonna go up to him. I don't even know what he was gonna do.
Yeah, like Lupin Red was like, wait, he doesn't know what I look like. Yeah. He doesn't know who I am. Maybe I can go get some information. And right when he walks up, Patranger Red just explodes. He's like, I will win next time. And he like storms off. And Lupin Red's like, oh wow, okay, this is crazy. But then it puts an idea in Lupin Red's head. He's like, wait, I got to him.
Yeah.
He's off his game.
Yep.
We can take advantage of this. So then we go to the next fight. So all of a sudden, the Gangler from last week shows up again. Yep. And he's up to his usual tricks. He's trying to hide out. But they do facial recognition. They find out where he's at. And the Patrangers go after him. And the Patrangers pretty much beat him. But Patranger Red's like, no. They're like, what do you mean, no? Let's stop, let's wait, and let's try to get the thieves to show up. If we live this fight one longer, the thieves will show up, and I can get my rematch. And so this ends up letting the Gangler get away. They demorph, and then the Patranger Green's like, I can't believe you did that. Yep. And the Pink Ranger says nothing. She just walks up, slaps him in the face. Slaps the taste out of his mouth.
I love their dynamic. I love the Pink and Reds. Like, they're just... I don't know. I feel like there's something between them a little bit. Like, I mean, I know it's like a camaraderie thing, but there's something going on between those.
It is. There's a strong like friendship there. Like there's a strong connection. And so she says to him, they do a flashback to where they first got assigned to the Global Police Force for this section of going after ganglers. And she says, I can't believe we got this promotion. We've got great benefits. We're getting paid more money. This is going to be awesome. And then in the flashback, he says, what did you join the police force for?
Yep.
And he's like, we do this. It is a service. We do this, and they kind of like cut it off right there. And she's like, "Remember what you told me?
Yep.
Your words have always stuck with me."
She's his moral compass. She brings him back.
Well, I agree with you. She brings him back, and he brings her back sometimes, like they did with the last episode with the whales and everything, when she got kidnapped. And so then when we go to this episode, later on in the episode, they're fighting again. They're fighting the stall creature. They're fighting the Gangler and everything like that. The Lupins show up, and they're like, "Oh, we got this." They're off their game. And so Lupin Reg like goes up. He's like trying to fight him again. He's like, "Remember when I beat you last time? I'm gonna beat you again." And blah blah blah.
He's kind of an asshole.
He really is, though. He really is. But the Gangler got powered up a little bit, so the Gangler sends this wicked like slash attack, right? Yeah. So it's like just flipping through the air. It's like 2 Destructo discs flying, and then what happens? Lupin Red's like he like dodges Matrix style.
Yeah.
But then when he goes to the Patranger stands there and takes it. At first I'm looking like, was he not fast enough to dodge it? Yeah. And he like gets pushed back, and then he's like, well, maybe he's just trying to absorb the impact, and it like blows up.
Yeah, but then he gets under this little archway.
Like this archway, this bridge thing, and then the crumble's coming down, and he catches the rubble. I'm like, why is he doing this?
There's one thing though, that stuff looks super fake. You're like,
it really did though. It really did.
It's like, dude, that's styrofoam. You could tell that's super light. He's like not even trying.
It's like this is a budget. We're on a budget right now. But what's crazy is like you see him catch this, and you're like, why did he do this? Why? And then you look behind him, and there's 2 civilians behind there. There's like a mother and daughter.
Yeah.
And he just took that brunt to save their lives. He throws the rubble off and everything like that. And the Lupin Red looks at him like, wait, what? Did he just do that? And then he flashes back himself, and he goes back to the rest of that conversation he had with Patranger Pink, where he says, we do this to protect people. Yeah. We do this to help people. That's what our job is as police.
That moment when he took the hit, that's his That's when he woke up.
Exactly.
He realized, you know what, I can't be selfish. I mean, they're not, Lupinranger's not really getting in my, or stopping me from serving justice, so let me just do my job.
Exactly.
The job that I was brought in to do.
It's the job that I'm supposed to do. Like, I'm not here to fight and win battles against Lupinrangers. I'm not here to prove I'm the best Red Ranger. My job is here to protect people, which is awesome, which I was like, okay, that's a hero right there. That's inspiring. And then immediately after that, here comes Goody. And Goody comes, and what does Goody do?
He steals the
motorcycle from Lupin Red. He's like, wait, did you just do what? And he tosses it over to the Power Ranger Red, which is like, you know what? He didn't. In a way, he earned it. Yeah. Like, he didn't have to fight for it. His like him being the hero he was gave him that new upgrade.
I can't wait to see when they start working together. But yeah, this is good.
It's really great.
Like Goody is a good balance between the two.
He is. So then after that, they go ahead and Power Ranger Red's like, all right, it's time for you to go. And he like puts the motorcycle on to do his like new finisher and everything like that. Oh. This is about to launch at him since this like giant tire. And as they're doing this, Lupins are panicking like, oh God, we gotta get it! We gotta get it! Hurry up! All of this! He's still shooting! He's crazy! And they literally get at the very last moment and pull it out, and then it explodes.
Lupin Red's cape gets a little torn and stuff.
It singed and everything like that. It hits him in the chest and it explodes and boom, passed out. And so they destroy the monster. And at this point,
Red's drained.
Yeah, Red's drained. He just passes out. He literally passes out. He doesn't demorph though, but he passes out from exhaustion and injuries from previous episodes.
So one thing that they come to realize towards the end of this episode is that the Lupinrangers had a chance to grab that bike again.
Exactly.
They were helping Pat Red recover, and they could have easily just went up, like fought them.
Exactly, and taken it back. But instead, Lupin Red's like, you know what? No, we're gonna let them go ahead and have this one.
What they're realizing is that the wall that divides them is getting smaller and smaller, and they're realizing that they're not so different.
I agree. I love that analogy because you're right. Because beforehand, the wall that divided them was like you have thieves and you have police. But what the thing about it is, those that they're starting to realize is that, especially since the last episode when Lupin Red's like, we have to do this. He's starting to realize that okay, they're doing this for a reason. And then with the Lupin Rangers, the Potter Rangers like, look, they're cops and they're trying to catch us, but that's because we're thieves. We're stealing stuff. They are good people. They are literally trying to protect and save people on a regular basis, which is awesome.
And then when they go back to turn in the treasures to the butler.
Oh, we forgot though. So we can. It's Megazord battle. Lupins show up. They get their Megazord.
I usually breed. It's super generic.
It is. The only thing that we'll tell you that happened was that the helicopter came in this time. It merged with the Megazord. It was a new arm.
Yep.
I was honestly disappointed by it because I was hoping the helicopter would mean we'd be getting a new Ranger soon. But it is still early in the series, so all it was just a new arm, and it does this cool thing where it creates a tornado that puts them up in the air, and then they slash them and cut them off in the air, which is kind of cool.
I don't know about you, but with like mechas and Zords, I don't like it when it's interchangeable. I like pile on like stuff.
I agree with you. Yeah. I agree with you because the thing that I agree with you because the reason why is because it takes away from the base form, and there's no real connection to the base form. Like honestly, since like the original Megazord, and no, I will say this: the original Megazord, the Shonen Zord that they got like later on when they got their upgrades, and a couple of generations after that, I was able to follow along with the Zords pretty much up until space. But it was really around like Wild Force that really started doing this, where they started bringing all these Zord add-ons and everything like that. Yeah. It was like I really want to like the Zord, but I can't because they're just so interchangeable.
All that is just toy sales.
Right? It is toy sales, and I totally understand where it's coming from. But I just kind of say like I kind of feel like because I agree with you, I feel it's quality over quantity. I haven't bought a single Megazord in a long time. But if it was like one Megazord, like you said, it just had add-ons, whereas like I'm not interchanging arms, but I'm adding on cannons or missiles or things like that. Then I'll be like, cool, I have this base form, and I have the base form, and I can buy whatever attachments I want for it. Yep. But so they beat that, and at the end of the episode, we go to like we go to the
restaurant, and they're giving, they're turning in the initial treasure that they got from Berndalt, and then she's about to give the helicopter, and it's like, oh no, you guys keep it, use it, it'll help you on your missions, and they're like, okay, and then they ask if they should have got the other bike back, and he's like, no, let them keep it. So there's
like that's for another day.
There's a mutual understanding with these two factions. So it's definitely the lines have been blurred. It's not all black and white anymore. There's a lot of shades of gray. So it's gonna be pretty interesting to see them come together and figure out what they're gonna do.
Exactly, which is kind of cool because that leads us to our next episode. We see those lines even blurred even more.
I love So with these last episodes, they like to focus on different characters. This one was definitely a yellow Lupinranger episode. Definitely. You kind of figure out that in this episode that she's kind of looked at as like the little sister, like someone that doesn't have much pull within the team, that make you feel like you're just carrying dead weight.
Exactly.
That's how she feels. That's not what they feel. That's how she feels.
Right, but that's how she also kind of carries herself too, though, because they do a couple cool things to show this. So at the beginning of the episode, they're in the restaurant, and Patranger Green, as we all know, has like crush on her.
I love that, dude. It's freaking hilarious.
It's dope. But he goes to ask her out. When he goes to ask her out, though, he's like, "Oh, here's my number." He's like, "Can I take you out?" And she looks around. She looks to Lupin. She Lupin Blue for help. He's busy cooking with his back turned. She looks to Lupin Red for help. He's over there talking to a couple girls. It's like she's like, "Oh, now that I've getting myself out of the situation." So before she tried to deal with the situation herself, she first looked to help, which kind of shows like that's kind of like the theme of this episode is that she does need you to help. She needs to be bailed out. But she tells Lupin Green like, "Oh, well, I have to work tomorrow, blah blah." So he's like, "Oh, here, take my number. Call me when you're free. We'll set something up." She takes it. She balls it away, and then after that, they show the police like walking away. And I was kind of disappointed by this. Patranger Pink is like, when you're in uniform, you don't talk to other people. You can't be hitting on girls newly like this.
I understand where that's coming from. You have to be
professional.
Be professional.
Exactly. That's what
there are laws. There are like rules that policemen have to. You can't be like fraternizing with people when you're on the job. So
no, I totally agree with you, but that wasn't the part that disappointed me. The part of disappointment was when Potter Red, after that, was like, he was like, Green, do you really care for her? And then I'm sorry, Patranger Green be like, yes, I do. But then instead he turns and was like, I just really like talking to cute girls. It's what I do. I'm Patranger Green. It's what I do. I play on, player. I play on. I'm just like, oh man, really? I can't ship you guys if you were doing stuff like this. Like, come on, bruh. No. Yeah. So that was what disappointed me right there. But then later on, we beat the Gangler for this episode, and this Gangler was like really strong. He eats people.
Kind of reminds me of that Pudgy Pig from Power Rangers.
I agree. Yeah.
Where he did Pudgy Pig eat the Power Ranger? No.
He ate food, weapons, and everything else.
Who was that one? It was a frog or a lizard where he ate the Power Rangers and their heads.
Oh yeah.
That's what. So he was eating. So the story is the Gangler is going to all these top-rated restaurants, and he was at this restaurant that the Lupin Rangers were fighting him off, and then he swallowed.
Gotta be real though, I was disappointed that he didn't go to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles.
They don't think they have Roscoe's in Japan, man.
They don't have Roscoe's in Japan?
I don't know.
Producer Josh, we need to fly to Japan. We're gonna open up the first Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles.
I was in Korea a few months ago, and chicken and beer was a big thing over there.
Really? Oh, see, it's already started.
Huge
we got to get there with the waffles right now.
Huge thing, like literally like chicken and beer. And the beer that they want, weirdly enough, is Pabst.
Really?
That's what, I don't know.
Pabst Blue Ribbon.
They said, I guess it's to them, it's the most American beer that you can find.
Have hipsters taken over the world?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, they won?
Yeah.
In the comments, let me know, because I'm scared. I think they may have won. Okay, but back to the episode though.
Yeah, so he eats the people at the restaurant.
He eats the tables, the chairs, like everything. Yep. And then so you already ate one restaurant. In the middle of eating the second one, the Lupin Rangers show up to fight him. The police, they know something's happened. They have no evidence yet, so they don't know where to go. The Lupin Rangers show up to fight him. And in the middle of the fight, Lupin Blue gets eaten.
Yep.
Lupin Yellow's about to get eaten, but that's when Lupin Red shows up, pushes her out of the way, and gets eaten himself.
Yep.
And he gets taken. And so all of a sudden, Lupin Yellow's left by herself. Now this is what kind of blew me away. So she gets like thrown behind, like it's like in a restaurant. She gets like thrown to the kitchen, and what she does is she hides behind the counter.
She kind of cowers.
She does. She thank you. She cowers. She gets over there and she's visibly shaking because they flash back to when her friend got turned to ice and died back when we found like the very first episode.
We found out what had happened.
Exactly. But what's crazy is though is like so we see her cowering and she's shaking and you're just like, oh my God, she has PTSD. Mm-hmm. She is really shocked and traumatized by like what happened to her. And so the monster's like, well, I can't find another ranger, but as long as she's not here, it doesn't interfere with me, who cares? Yeah. And he leaves her. And then she's left on her own. Yeah. So like you're looking like, dude, what did you do? You just left your friends behind, you didn't help them. They go back to the restaurant and that's when we found out the origin. Yep. We found out about how like as that was her friend that got eaten back when she was a little girl.
She was picked on as a little girl and her friend would always stand up for her.
Yep. And her what?
They they become good friends, and they leads up to the scene where
we discovered that Power Ranger Yellow is really passionate about fashion, and she loves drawing clothes. Yeah. And her best friend was actually, which is really dope, a mangaka. As a comic book writer,
I thought that was cool.
As a comic book writer and creator, I was like, oh, dope, that's so cool.
So were they in high school?
Yeah, they were like in high school or something like that. And so they're going to that museum to go celebrate, and because apparently she had just like entered something like Shonen Jump or some magazine. She's like listed there as like some award she's gotten, which like that's so dope. Her manga career is like off the ground. It's like if you've read Bakuman, it's like kind of like that. Like they won one of the awards to lead to like getting their own series someday, which is so dope. But then what ends up happening is that her friend pushes her out of the way. And when she turns back, we see her trapped in ice.
Yep.
So at that moment too, she got saved.
Same exact situation.
Yeah.
Red pushes her, and then she's got PTSD, and she's figuring out that she gets put in these positions because she thinks she's not brave enough or tough enough to get herself out of these sticky situations.
For sure. And then after that, now this is where things get really interesting. We go back to the restaurant, and when we get to the restaurant, we see the butler. The butler shows up, and he comes over and is like, "You can't be without hope." It's like if you're without hope, you'll never succeed. And it's like, remember, you had enough bravery to stand up for yourself and take the weapon and become a ranger. On that day, you were brave enough to decide your own path. So you're brave enough to go and do this. Yeah. And from first, I'm like, holy crap! It's about time. The butler is being a mentor figure. Yep. It's about time we got this because remember we've been like suspecting this whole time.
You're not so shady anymore.
Exactly. Like you're not as like dirty and evil as we thought. But then he starts to leave the restaurant. He's like, I'm counting on you. And then when the door closes, he with a little grin on his face, or a little sneer or snide, he's like, because those two morphers are really important. You're like, what? So you don't even care about the range, you care about the morphers. Like, oh, you are shady. You are shady. You are playing her.
This guy is, I don't know, he's bad.
He is. Like, I don't trust him. So then at this point, Lupin Yellow, she's like, okay, what do I do? She's like, look, I need to go save them. I need to make a plan. I have to go after them. So he gets her resolve. She gets her courage up. But then she's smart about it, though. She's not like, I'm just going to run in there and fight. She's like, nah, I can't beat it by myself.
She needs strength in numbers.
So what does she do? She goes in that trash can.
Kind of messed up.
How so?
She's technically using the guy.
Look, you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes.
No, she's straight up like, okay, I'm gonna pretend we're gonna go on this day, but really, I'm just using him so then he can call his friends and they fight my battle, and then I'll come in and save the day. So that's what she does. She figures out. I guess she overhears the Patrangers like looking into these restaurants.
Exactly, because she makes a connection that he knows about restaurants and everything. Yeah. And so she calls him up. They go on this date, and it was really weird to me. Is like I'm looking at Power Ranger Green, like, okay, bruh, something's wrong when a girl shows up to a date with a suitcase. Yeah. Like either something's weird or you're about to have a very good night, sir.
Oh.
You're going to go camping. Yeah. That's what that means. I'm joking.
So yeah, he was in uniform still, though.
No, he was in a suit. He was dressed up. He dressed up for her, and he compliments her on her dress and her outfit, which is like, oh, so that plays into her fashion thing. They start the chit chat, but right then the monster shows up, and Power Ranger Green's like, "You get out of here! I'll take care of this." And then he morphs and starts going to battle. He calls in the other Power Rangers, but this was kind of cool. So as we lead into this, though, I'm like, okay, so she's going to morph. She's going to jump into battle. No. The directing here and writing was really good. She goes to the bathroom and she begins to change her Lupin uniform, but it's not like a quick change. It's a very meticulous, very thought change. Like, she takes the time, makes sure her tie's straight. She puts her gloves on. She's looking in the mirror the whole time. It's like kind of like to psych herself up, like her Rocky moment, where she's like, "You can do this. You are Lupin Yellow. You can do what you have to do." And so, right when the Power Rangers are about to defeat the monster, they're being like fighting everything like that.
Green was getting his ass whooped.
Oh, he was though. He was getting
his ass whooped. I thought before the other Pot Rangers camp, I thought, oh, she better hurry up and put those clothes on because he's about to get eaten.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I was thinking in my head, and I was like, oh, damn.
So then what's cool is then all of a sudden Lupin Yellow, she jumps into battle, and she doesn't morph. She doesn't need to morph. She comes in, she gets Lupin Green, gives him a Hurricanrana, was like, is that a Hurricanrana? It's like, she jumps down with her like...
What was the reason behind that? She's stopping them from killing the dude?
Well, yeah, because she needed to get the piece from him, because if she got the piece from him, his stomach would shrink and expel everything. And so she comes in, does a Hurricanrana, and starts to go to work on the safe. Now, before we tell you what happens next, though, let's go back to the stomach. Inside the stomach, Lupin Red and Blue are in there, and they're like, okay, let's try shooting our way out.
Yeah, the stomach fluids are
acid, digestive acid. Yeah. So as soon as they shoot into it, it blasts them and it hurts them, and they can't even morph in there. And so at that point, they're stuck inside the stomach, and like we gotta wait for Lupin Yellow. Yeah. Cut to a few moments later, we see a kid is like trying to like about to fall into the mist. Lupin Red saves him, pulls him back on, and that's when we see all the people in the stomach are standing on the furniture, trying to avoid being digested. Yep. And Lupin Blue says, "I wonder if you had stayed out, would we be saved by now?" And Lupin Red just kind of lays back and is like, well, you know, we just got to have faith in her. Yep. And Lupin Blue says, you know, that's kind of unusual. Is that you saving somebody else, you're sacrificing yourself, and then he kind of leave it at that, which was kind of cool for me because that's also a callback to like the first episodes. Yep. Remember where they were like Lupin Red was left by himself, and it looked like Blue and Yellow had died or something, and they were like we made a promise to ourselves to succeed. It's like as long as one of us is, the wish will come true. Now we start to see they're going closer together, which is totally different. The cops have always worked together, but the Lupin Rangers, they're a team, but they're not like friends. Yeah, they're not close.
They're not. It's a forced team.
Exactly.
They're forced together to complete a task.
But now when he saved her life, though, we start to see that connection is going stronger. Then we see like, okay, you guys are starting to get close now too. Yeah. So cut back to outside. Lupin Ranger comes with a Hurricanrana. She flips over Power Ranger Green. She puts the safe thing on there. Crack. Boom. Opens it up. Pulls items out, and immediately, boom, all the furniture, the people come out and everything like that, and everybody's saved. The Rangers come out, the Lupin Rangers come out, they immediately morph. He's like, you got the item? She's like, yeah, cool, let's go. So they morph and transform and everything like that, and then after that, the police are like, all right, we gotta get you guys out of here. It's like, them, they saved us. They're pointing to the Lupin Rangers. And the Power Ranger Red's like, wait, they saved you? And he looks at him like, okay, all right, this is another piece of evidence to show me you guys are so bad.
Wall, man. Breaking down that.
Like you said, that wall's getting smaller. And so then right after this, the Lupin Rangers, they come together. They use their finisher now. They shoot the helicopter at them, which is kind of cool. It like sends out like, which is really weird, like kind of sends like a weird like destructive disc, but a weird tornado at the same time at the monster. Like it's cutting down trees and destroys the monster. And I gotta be real, from a Power Ranger standpoint, this season is destroying a lot of public property. Like they have no respect for buildings, they have no respect for the environment. Like I'm not sure if the government supports these Power Ranger teams at all.
No one does. It's great. I like that they're really breaking down these walls that divide them, because it's. I still want them to be separate, but I like that, you know, they're getting closer and closer and understanding where they're coming from. And another thing that we didn't really discuss is we saw who the informant was that informed them about Hilltop and the new weapons. It was the dude that started all this.
Yeah, the ice monster, whatever, the guy.
Zimbagi or Zim started with a Z, and he's just chilling. He's just chilling,
which was crazy. And then it's like. And then, there's a little moment that happens when he bites into a piece of ice. He's like, ooh, cold. And then he's like, okay, all right, who is this guy? Okay, he loves the cold and everything. So then we come back to the battlefield, and trust me, that will come back later. That was a little bit of foreshadowing for you right there. Remember that. And so then later on, we go back to the battlefield. The Lupin Rangers have destroyed the monster, laying down on the ground, but then the girl comes out, makes her monster grow. He gets big and everything like that.
Make my monster grow!
Yeah! And then, low-key, my favorite moment of this episode happens. Goody shows up, and he goes to the Lupin Rangers like, Lupin Rangers, we got it. He's like, no, we good. We're tired. We've done enough for the day. They're like, what? Go to the Power Rangers. We're good. He's like, the Blue Rangers like, yeah, get it. Ian's like, makes you exhausted. And they literally walk away. And I'm like, wait, what? They're like, we're good. We're tired. And I'm like, and then the Power Rangers come like, Goody, we need you. Goody's like, okay, I guess. And he goes over to them, and then they make the Megazord and distribute the monster and everything like that. But I just thought that was hilarious.
They're done. It's like, oh man, we've been in that stomach way too long. We're tired, man.
I was dying laughing. I said that was one of my favorite moments, and that's kind of cool too, because you got to think about it. If you had two Power Ranger teams and they can't merge their Zords together, so it's either one or the other, there would be days where I'm like, you know what, I'm good, Jezzer. It's all you, homie. You go ahead and defeat that monster. I'll be right here.
So they defeat the monster, and we go back. The Pot Rangers go visit the restaurant again.
But while they're in there, which is cool, is right before they get there, the Power Rangers are in there. They're like right before they get there, though, they show the butler. The butler's in there getting the new piece from them. Yeah. He puts into the book, but then what's really interesting, he takes a sip of tea. He's like, ooh, hot.
Oh.
And he sets it down. You're like, wait a minute. So we saw that other guy bite into ice. He's like, ooh, cold. He enjoyed it. He sips some tea. Ooh, hot. And puts it down. I was like, oh, wait. So are the butler and this ice monster maybe the same guy?
Ooh, I didn't even. Whoa.
So we got a little bit of foreshadowing. But at the same time, though, this could be a red herring, and that could be trying to distract us from what this could be. But something's definitely going on with the butler. Something's going on with that ice guy. So they're starting to like develop this plot a little bit. So that was really cool. And then afterwards, so this is something we didn't tell you about as well. There's some other foreshadowing as well. So when they come out of the stomach, the Lupin Rangers are all like, yeah, we made it out. And they have a morph jet, and Lupin Red grabs Lupin Yellow's nose like, I got you. We got you. So she's like, leave me alone. Then they go to the restaurant. The Power Rangers are eating, having a good time, celebrating that everything's won. The Lupin Rangers are relaxing and everything like that, and they're joking around each other. Again, being friendly, which you've never seen in the movie before. And Lupin Red, in his civilian outfit, grabs Lupin Yellow's nose, and that's when Power Ranger Pink looks over and she's like, wait, no, could they be? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. No, and she starts to make this connection, and so that leads to the cliffhanger for the next episode, which I gotta say was kind of awesome because like we talked about before, I watched Build a lot for the drama, and I watched Lupin Ranger vs Patranger Ranger for the fun of it. But what's been really cool is that like they haven't been really heavy on the drama and not too many cliffhangers. But with this episode, we have a cool cliffhanger going to next week. It was like, okay, so how will she proceed with this? Because she's a smart one of the team too. So how will she investigate this?
This is gonna be interesting. And do you think anything's going to happen between Yellow and Green? She came back and was like, oh, I was wondering what happened to you. You're not answering my calls. And she had some bullshit.
Oh, she was like, I lost my phone and everything like that.
So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Because I saw the preview, what happens next. So, it's, yeah. So, I like the order that I watched this in. Definitely Kamen Rider Build drains you a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's so much going on. And this one's a little bit more lighthearted.
Exactly.
With a little bit of stuff to digest on the side. Digest.
It just makes it a lot more smoother. And honestly, I would recommend if you're watching both of them, depends on your feel, but that's a really good way to watch it. Watch Build first and then go into your Sentai because it usually ends on a lighter note. It's a little bit more fun. Because right now, Build is just going towards like the series finale. And again, I hope you guys let me know in those comments like how many episodes these seasons usually are. But as we get closer and closer to the end, it feels like things are getting darker and high stakes are getting a lot higher. So we won't see as much lighthearted stuff as things are getting more and more serious right now.
All right, so that was Lupin versus Patranger. It was good. It was good. To be honest, it's taken me a little bit more time for me to get connected to these characters than I did with Q Ranger. But it's gonna happen. It's eventually gonna happen. But let's get into the comments. Comments. We don't have a paper right now, so I'm going to have to read it off my phone.
Okay.
Blackwing says, hey guys, I know that I have been absent a lot from the Henshin Hangout, but I see you guys are doing a great job. It's great to meet you, Johnny and Paula.
Oh, thank you.
I find myself wondering, there are a lot of Toku fans out there, but the Toku community doesn't, read more, get enough attention. Why do you think that is? But it's
there we go.
I don't know. It's
I would say for me, one reason why it might not give enough visibility is because just accessibility. Like a lot of times, like some things are easier to get into because they're just so more accessible, and that's part of the problem. Like I think part of the reason why anime has been so big as of late, like Naruto, Bleach, or whatnot, is because you can watch it on Hulu and Netflix.
Crunchyroll,
exactly. So I think honestly, the day Hulu or Netflix or somebody smart gets Sentai series and some of the Kamen Rider series on the series, I think we're going to see a huge jump in like visibility because I've been recommending, because as you guys know, I'm a high school teacher, and so back when Mega Force was on the air, and that's when I got into Go Kiger, I showed Go Kiger to my students, and they were like, "What? This is Power Rangers?" I'm like, "No, this is Super Sentai in Japan. This is how it's supposed to be." And a lot of my kids became fans right after that. So honestly, I think it's about visibility. The more you show it to people, the more we get the word out there. The more you share like our video with your friends, you share different Sentai series with your friends. I think the more and more words going to get out. It's going to spread. Okay.
Boomitra.
All right. So then next up we got Boomika. Hey guys, good review. Good to see you again, Paula. My favorite character for Build is Sento because of the character development. He can't change the fact that he was Katsugi Takumi, but at least he is able to mentally separate himself as Kiru. Sorry, I'm butchering these names. My favorite thing about Bill is that the Shinto Banjo dynamic, it's not like I ship them just as normal friends. Shinto helps Banjo to realize the fight for justice and continue to help people, and Banjo motivates Shinto to forget the past and continue fighting. The other characters also push a lot into this dynamic. You know, I gotta totally agree with you, and that's what we saw a lot of in this episode. We saw a lot of Bill getting a lot of motivation that he got from Banjo. When Banjo pointed out that you're the only one who fights for other people, you're the one who fights for justice, you're the real hero of this group. And now, ever since then, like, even Bill said himself, he's like, I use that as motivation. So, good call right there. Like, I agree with you.
Layla says, I thought Sentai could get very dark, but Kamen Rider is a whole nother level of dark. Saban, take notes.
I agree. Like you said earlier, Jezzer, the thing about this is that Saban needs to just darken this up a little bit. I think part of the reason why Power Rangers is failing is because they're afraid to make it darker. Yeah. Because you notice the TMNT series, the last one that was on, was dark. Not the spoiling thing, but there's a couple times where they imply Turtles kill some of their villains.
Yeah.
So the thing about it is, though, is that with Power Rangers, we've just got to take it a little bit darker with it. We got to just treat it a little more seriously. Like, I remember one of the best ideas that got thrown out that I wish they would have done by now with Power Rangers is the Power Rangers Academy. Like, they need to do a Power Rangers Academy where we bring back some of these former actors and do it kind of like, again, going to make an anime reference, but like kind of like Naruto, where you have different teams and everything like that, or SPD. Kind of have the same thing. We're having these academies where we're teaching people how to be Rangers, and we get to bring back our old Rangers and make the storylines a little bit more like adult, a little bit more dark, a little bit more like invested. But that's just my idea, though. Next one from Kevin Duane. This has been a good episode after good episode. Now I'm really engaged in the narrative and excited to see more of the Pats and the Lupins. Build is just awesome.
Yes, it is. It's good. I like Build. I really like Build. I'm so glad I jumped onto that. Charlieverse says, I think the butler is actually the right-hand man of the gangler's leader because he always seems busy and never spends time with the Lupinrangers. He is never seen by the Patrangers after the collection pieces as well. Also, he knows who the bad guys are and what they look like when they're in their human disguise. Yep, we're talking about that. In episode 5, at one point, he says, a little bird told me about the whole getting the collection pieces. He could potentially be the little bird he's talking to. Just a theory. That is true.
That's true. That's a good theory. And I think we're on the same page.
Yep.
There's something wrong with that butler. We don't know
Something
what
wrong
is.
with the butler.
Don't trust the butler.
Yep.
Great Henshin out, Jezzer and Johnny and Paula. Now we give this episode 4 a 5.5 for me, and give episode 5 a 6.6 as well. A nice job on the host today, Jezzer and Johnny and Paula, and your friend Ryan Earl Thomas from Arizona. Enjoy both. Oops. There you go. Enjoy both episodes. Peace out, yo. Awesome. Thanks, Ryan Earl, Wizard Rider. And yeah, I like today's episode. I like those last week's episodes a lot too. And I got to give credit. They're steadily building upon each other and whatnot.
Yep. I like that where they're going. I really want. I want to see them work together, but also I want to keep seeing these different storylines with them being separate teams. So we'll see where that goes, and definitely want to see what happens in Build because shit's going down, bro.
It's really going down.
Shit's going down.
Like the war isn't over; it's going to continue, and man, it's crazy. Again, I just got to give a lot of credit to the writers of Build. We're in episode 28, and we just saw the false end to a war. We've had a war, and now we're going to the next arc, and it's been heavy. It's been really heavy. I honestly kind of hope the next episode is a little bit lighthearted or something happens, but I don't think it will be because I
want them to keep going.
You want to keep going?
Hitting that wall.
Oh my geez, I need a break. I do need a break, but I feel you though. That's where we have Lupin versus Patranger. That's where we get our break at.
These guys right there. That guy's right. Those guys right there. So yeah. Is there anything else there, Johnny?
That's about it. It's been a good time.
Your retention of all this stuff is just like it's crazy. Like every single detail. You could literally like watch an episode and this probably explain it. If you like, only thing you need is like the dialogue, and you got it. You got it down, man.
I give credit to them though, because they just make it engaging to watch. Because there's a lot of stuff I watch which I get bored by that I couldn't recount to you, but this shows they're just that well written, that well engaging. Like whenever I have to watch Power Rangers, like some like for example Ninja Steel, I'm like, oh Jesus, why me, Lord? Why am I being punished?
I am so glad they're on hiatus right now because they're just.
We kind of need it, but I will say this though, for people who are looking for something else to watch, Dragon Ball Super just concluded. If you're an anime fan and you haven't seen it, give that a try out because it just concluded and they're about to go on hiatus for a long time. So it's a really great time if you're someone who likes to binge watch a series. I don't know how many seasons. I'm going to say like 3, but they just wrapped up at about 100 and 30-something episodes, I think. They're about 130 episodes in. And so you can pretty much watch those pretty fast. Yeah. It's a lot much faster series. And honestly, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Dragon Ball Super has been kind of a polarizing series. Some people hate it. Some people love it. A lot of people kind of feel tolerated. But they literally just finished their last storyline, and they're going to hiatus until the movie in December. So if you're looking for something to binge watch this week, you want a spring break and hang it out, give it a try.
Awesome, awesome. So where can we find you on social media?
You can find me at JohnnyP313 on Twitter and Instagram. Yep. Come give me a follow and chat with me. I'll also be signing at the Joshua Tree Zine Fest this weekend. I'll be there selling Black Fist and Brown Hand, my comic book Broken, my other comic Teen Horror. So if you want to come hang out, talk some Sentai with me, I'll be at the Joshua Tree Zine Fest. You can find all the information online.
You're going to Joshua Tree?
Yep, driving up there tomorrow. It goes from 12 to 6. Man. So looking forward to it. It's my first time going. Is it just
for Sunday?
It's a Sunday, one-day only show, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I'm looking forward. I'm going to try to do a little bit of hiking, too. Like, I hope the sun doesn't go down too soon. Like, first time going to Joshua Tree, I want to walk around a little bit.
Yeah. You can find me on all social media at Jezzer Zeus. You could also, if you guys have anything you guys want to talk to us about, hit us up on the THS Hashtagers page, because that's the place where you got to do it.
For sure.
Yeah. I should be back tonight with Joe and Migdalia for After Dark, so be sure to tune into that. We will be back again next week. Hopefully we have Justin again. Justin with us, fill us in on the Kamen Rider history, because we both don't. This is our first Kamen Rider show.
Yeah, so we need him to help us out and educate us. Because that the word cameo, where's the red and blue gear armor? I really wonder where that came from.
I don't know.
Yeah, so, and also don't forget, Jezzer will be on the After Hour show tonight.
After Dark, yeah.
The After Dark show tonight, so you can find him there. And then don't forget, I'll be on the wrestling show this Tuesday.
Yeah, so wrestling with Tony, right?
Exactly. So with Tony and KK. So here's the thing: we're on the road to WrestleMania. WrestleMania is next Sunday. These are the go home shows for Raw and SmackDown, and we're also gonna do some cool predictions. So if you're into wrestling at all, come check us out on Tuesday night. We'll be talking about that as well.
That's awesome. Also on Wednesday, are you gonna be on Krypton on Wednesday?
Oh, not this Wednesday. Wednesday. This Wednesday, a friend of mine got me tickets. I guess I'm going to go to Staples Center. I'm going to go to a Laker game.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. So
clean invite, bro.
I just want to go check it out and see what it's like.
All right, you guys, thank you for watching, and make sure that you share this video out, share this channel out with anybody that shares the same interests with you, because the bigger we are, the better we are. So make sure to share us out. Also, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to keep up to date with everything trending in geek pop culture.